Man, spirit animal, huh? That's a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it, get back to you.
No problem.
Sure, I've got one somewhere. So, all right. Good evening, everyone. We are Clark and Crypto. Not that Clark and Crypto. That's right, since we were all here together last, the new Superman movie opened to commercial success and critical acclaim. You Zack Snyder fans, boy. Yo, man! Gonna have to let it go, though, fellas. You're just gonna have to accept that Man of Steel is not a good movie. You can still enjoy it. No one's trying to take it away from you. Just saying, it's not a good movie. I'll say this for it, though. It does have what I personally consider to be, at the risk of sounding hyperbolic, the greatest ending in the history of cinema. Now, you'd only remember this if you're one of the few, the strong, the ones who managed to stay awake through the whole thing. But the way Man of Steel ends is, it ends on a sepia-toned flashback to Superman's childhood in Kansas, before he was aware that he had, otherworldly powers. But there is a voiceover by Diane Lane as Ma Kent, and she is talking to the current day Superman, and she's saying to him, "Clark, we always knew you'd be a hero someday." And the visual which accompanies this is a young Clark Kent playing in his backyard, wearing a tablecloth as a cape, pretending to fly, prompting at least one viewer to ask, okay, but if you grow up to be, who are you imitating? Dracula? But I am deeply in James Gunn's debt for presenting Crypto the Superdog to the zeitgeist, making him a household name. Because finally, and you could wake up for this part, Crypt, finally, after the better part of a decade, I can hand the family name down. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Crypto Sager. See, when I named him Crypto, it was roughly 36 hours before the term came to have its unsavory association with internet banking. For the past 8 years, his legal surname has been, not the currency though, I have nothing to do with Bitcoin. I'm not going to try to rope you into a meme stock pump and dump scheme. Wait, come back. That has been his last name. About 8 years. I more than once I considered renaming him, but knowing me, that just would have made it worse. Like, dude, you named your dog NFT? Yeah, nice fuzzy terrier. What's the problem? But, Brett, don't mimic the audience. Stay away from me. But, no, I should say, I didn't name him after Superman's dog either. I named him after an undescended testicle. But I would much rather people mistake me for a comic book nerd than a libertarian. I would rather people mistake me for an undescended testicle than a libertarian. Now, Crypto and I are here tonight. Well, I'm here tonight. He's just cashing out. We're here tonight to announce a change in direction. I'm not going to use the word quit because, hey, I am no quitter. But I think we are going to be pivoting away from stand-up comedy. Now we're from awakeness, but we're not giving up on live performance altogether. We actually have a little event coming up in a couple of months. Cryptober, a one-man, one-dog show. But that's not really comedy per se. That's more of a like a spoken word and barked arf performance we'll be working on. But yeah, so we'll nail the date down as we get a little closer to Halloween. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But that's not what we're here to promote. Tonight we are here to promote our new venture. Now, got to give a little background on this. Ever since the election, in which men swung hard to the right, you might have heard people say that we need a Joe Rogan of the left. If Democrats are ever going to get that demographic back, they need something like, they need their own version of Joe Rogan's cultural juggernaut of a podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience. That's what we need. Fine, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll take up that mantle. We will, because I think you'd all agree, if there's one thing the world of podcasting could use, it's more white males. So we're willing to step into that vacuum. Thinking of having some freewheeling discussions. In fact, I'll real quick, why don't I give you a little taste here of what you can expect from our Joe Rogan themed podcast. I can smoke in here, right?
Of course.
Okay, you're supposed to say no, because I'm not actually going to light this on fire. That would be, yeah. Anyway. Not actually. This is great. Yeah, we'll just skip the preview. But hey, just keep your eyes peeled for that, or rather keep your ears peeled. That's actually a much less disturbing image. That doesn't work at all. So why don't you keep a listen out for our new podcast, the Clark Sexperience, which was supposed to be a portmanteau of Sager and experience. It doesn't come off that way now that I hear it. I really should have rehearsed this out loud, I guess. But no, you know what? That's actually not the worst possible name for this project. Because what we are going to be laser focused on is the male loneliness epidemic, of which so many of our current woes are downstream. I mean, ever since Gamergate, you've got this entire generation of disaffected young men. They're isolated and they're poorly socialized. They stew in grievance and resentment, and this makes them easy prey for the Andrew Tates of the world to swoop in and fill their heads with misogyny. That gatiest of gateway drugs to authoritarianism, misogyny is. And someone has to step in and disrupt the manosphere to fascism pipeline. And I say I'm the right man for the job. Now you might ask, but Clark, there's no shortage of leftists in the content creation space. What makes you think you can compete with the likes of Hassan the Hun, Destiny, Cenk Uygur, Bad Empanada, and Charlemagne the God? To which I can only reply, what? Are you just stringing random words together, or am I having a stroke? What the hell are you talking about? But no, I think I'm your man for this. Really, who better to reach out to these lost boys, take them under my wing, share with them the hard-won wisdom that comes with age. I mean, I can teach them how to approach a woman. I can give them dating tips and relationship advice. And by doing so, ensure that they never, ever reproduce. So as they say, like and subscribe to our podcast. Well, when it drops, you can like and subscribe. We haven't actually recorded any of it yet. I got to get to work on that. I'm gonna have to get some things together before we actually record anything. I'm gonna have to. God, what do I need? I need a. Well, I'm gonna need a microphone. We can't have a podcast without a microphone. I'm gonna have to get one of those. But God, those things cost a fortune, man. How am I gonna afford it? Holy cow! Hey, what's going on out there? You guys see that? Whoa, that's crazy. Who are those? Oh, it's probably nothing. Never mind. Sorry, my bad. So you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Zune, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Google Play, Amazon Unlimited, Tidal, Audible, Odyssey, Audacity, Voice America, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Republic, Podcast Addict, Podcast Guru, Podcaster, Chaser, Podiant, Podlove, Podurama, Beyond Pod, Antenna Pod, Pseudopod, Escape Pod, Only Podcasts, Castro, CastX, Castos, Pinecast, Simplecast, Downcast, Overcast, Pocketcast, Zencaster, Redcaster, Player FM, Buzzsprout, Transistor, Substack, Listen Notes, Broadway, Earwolf, Music Bee, New Pipe, Captivate, Spreaker, Blueberry, Pandora, Red Circle, Fireside, Anchor, Soapbox, Megaphone, Bullhorn, Luminary, Himalaya, Sirius, Maximum Fun, Grover, Dogcatcher, Eyecatcher, Cygnus, RSS, Deezer, Stingray, Fountain, Libsyn, or Stitcher. Thank you so much.
Yeah,